TilTul's regions has the DNA of what you need the sound to be. Each of them has the level, the EQ, the reverb sends, and then on the reverb faders, you can see the lines going across. Those are the aux sends that pertain to dealing with reverb. And on each of those, you'll have the automation that goes on those channels. And so at the top, you'll see the continuous lines going across. You have essentially like 6 tracks of dialogue, and it was much more complicated in this film because some people speak Spanish, some speak English. We had 2 different versions of narration we had to do. So we had to have multiple dialogue stems. And then you can't really see when you see the 3 meters, the 5 meters, and the 6. Those are the 3-track production sound effects, 5 channels of group, and 5.1 of music. So this is it for 1/4 basically of the movie.
So Larry, just a first time. So conventional wisdom would be 20-minute reels to work on, and your idea is to work on a half of the movie.
Yes.
At one time.
Sometimes the whole movie, if it's a simple movie, which this is not.
Correct.
But no matter how complicated it is, I'll then cut it in half.
And again, if the director were to cut out 10 reels at 1 hour, or 10 minutes at 1 hour, and what have you, and reconform your movie, because your automation and your console moves are in this same session, that's not a big deal for you.
You do it without thinking. The act of conforming the audio that has to happen in a normal situation is also conforming sample accurately all the EQ and everything else.
Now, and one last thing just to tie in, because Che was shot in Spain, you did work in Spain, correct?
Yes.
And you mixed in several different places, correct?
Yeah, that's sort of the beauty of doing this, which is that on a couple of movies, including Che, I can jump between continents and between cities where all of a sudden Steven is in Los Angeles and we were going to mix in New Orleans, but we've got to mix in LA, and I can get on with 2 Firewire drives, walk into Warner Brothers Stage 6 or Widget with my friends and colleagues in Los Angeles, pump, load up the drives, and I'm there. Everything is there. It doesn't matter what type of console I had, what patching. There's no patching involved here. The only patching is to take the outputs into the monitor. That's each facility is different.
One document you carry with you on your drives.
Yeah.
You're able to work in New Orleans, New York, Spain, wherever. It doesn't matter, and that gives you, and as you mentioned, directors can be paranoid in the sense that they heard a door slam at a certain volume in the theater in a screening, and then they go somewhere else, they want to know it's the same volume, correct?
Exactly, and this gives us all the comfort zone to know that it's all happening the correct way. So let me go ahead and I'll go a little bit closer here. And for example, what would have begun when we first get a movie, it's usually like 8 tracks that just go cut by cut of very simple sound effects, maybe 2 tracks of music and 4 tracks of dialogue. That's usually what we get and start with. Then we will go, this is the dialogue part of the session, and you see we have 4 tracks and then dialogue 5.1 through 5.4, up through 7.1 and 7.4. Then we have ADR and so on and so forth. So, this would have been one simple unbroken track, but then you'll notice all the edits that dialogue editors had to make it smooth. And in purple below there, we have the ADR that we shot. And you can see here the 2 tracks. The track above it is muted, so we were using the boom track. We had a lavalier in the boom. We used the boom track there. And notice the color coding too here. This is a key thing that we do to keep directors sane and ourselves sane, is we color code things according to whether the director has approved it or not. And that hopefully answers arguments, but sometimes you have people who tell you that they do better. Here is group ADR, which is pretty straightforward. I like to shoot my group ADR with 3 microphones for left, center, and right. It just sits more naturally.